Joining me now to talk about the rule of law, the Department of Justice in our country, Eric Holder, who was the former Attorney General of the United States under President Barack Obama. In terms of what the president said, in terms of what we've watched come out of this Justice Department under William Barr, I guess my question is, on a sort of scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like an absolute rule of law emergency, 1 being the kind of normal back and forth of democratic politics, where do you place the moment we're in right now?
Oh, I think we're at a pretty consistent 9. What we have is a president who is bound and determined to delegitimize those parts of the government that he thinks pose the greatest threat to him. That is the Justice Department, the FBI, the intelligence community as well. He says those kinds of things that you just showed from the Rose Garden. It's all part of a plan to somehow make those institutions weaker so that he can do the kinds of illicit things that he's been doing, and he's facilitated by this attorney general. This attorney general is actually complicit in this by weakening these institutions. This is an attorney general who's supposed to stand up for the people who work for him, and in fact, he is doing all that he can to weaken the very institutions that he leads.
You once somewhat tongue-in-cheek referred to yourself as the wingman for the president. Obviously, you guys have a close personal relationship, and I've seen over the years conservatives try to take that quote to essentially say that, look, Eric Holder was just he was just the same when he was the Attorney General of the United States. He was looking out for the interests of the president. And I wonder how you can explain to people, like, what is Barr? What is it about what Barr is doing that to you is aberrant or different than what you or other attorney generals of both parties have done?
Well, he is injecting himself into cases. We certainly saw that in Flynn and in Stone. He mischaracterized the Mueller report. Still don't quite understand why he did that, knowing full well that we would have a chance to actually read the Mueller report and compare what was in the report to the way he characterized it. He has supported the effort to keep documents away from Congress. I think that what we have here, at least to date, has been a really good effort on the part of by the Attorney General to defend, to shield, as you said, various interests, chief interest for him being the president. My concern is that we move from the defensive to the offensive, that they will use the power of the Justice Department, the power of the criminal justice system to go after people who are perceived as enemies of this president. That is something that I say reluctantly, but I think based on the record that we have seen, they are up to doing that, to use the system in that way, which would be unprecedented.
Yeah, using the tool, the sort of state's prosecutorial function as a means of going after political enemies is the most obvious and tried and true mechanism of strongman authoritarian rulers. And there is a clamoring for this kind of thing. I want to play you. This is just a clip last week from Fox News, because so that people don't think that's a crazy, outlandish idea. If you spend a lot of time among certain circles of the right, the president spends a lot of time consuming. This is a growing chorus. They clearly have this in their sights. I want to play you just a representative clip and get your response to it. Take a listen.
How high up did all of this go in the Obama administration? Rick Grinnell, I want to show the video. I was tipped off yesterday that he was headed to the Justice Department late yesterday afternoon. He's got a satchel in his hand. I'm told there are documents in there he was bringing to the Attorney General, William Barr. We don't know exactly what's in there, but there are people around this case suggesting that maybe, as the acting DNI, Rick Grinnell has seen some documents that suggest Sally Yates and others were saying privately that Barack Obama knew about a lot of this with Michael Flynn a lot earlier than we know. What do you know? What do you think's in there?
Yeah, look, I don't know either. Let's hope they all get to the bottom of this.
This idea of what did John Bolton said, what did the president know and when did he know it? Barack Obama knew, Barack Obama led some illegal conspiracy. What do you make of that rhetoric?
Well, this is just what I said before. This is a very troubling concern that I have, that they are going to try to use the department, use the power that's in the department, use the tools of the Justice Department to go after people they perceive to be their political enemies. The notion that Barack Obama or people surrounding him did something inappropriate, describing it as ObamaGate by the president, is absurd. Doesn't mean, however, that you're going to watch. You will now hear ObamaGate repeated, and repeated, whether or not there's any basis to it, and there is not. That is going to be the new way in which they do it. And the thing that, as I said, is extremely troubling, this is something that I would have dismissed out of hand if you had raised it with any other administration, Republican or Democrat. But that is not something that you can dismiss with regard to this administration, this Attorney General.